Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder aboard the Bias train. That's right, the Object 120, the Reign of Terror by the Taran, has now moved from battle rating 7.7 to 7.3 because Gaijin is awesome. Together with the Leopard 1, I want to continue the tone of the video. Now, a few things up front. First of all, I had a lot of bad battles, and kind of you see a glimpse why that is in this video. So there was just nothing that I could show, and also I was a bit burned out. Also, I'm recording now with OBS, and I have a really big project in the making that required a bit more attention than you might think. All apparent in the next upcoming few days. Also, I hope that you like the polls. Yes, I know there are all the memes about the YouTube algorithm. Yes, I tried it once, I'm guilty. But to be honest, yeah, some of the poll results have really surprised me, and I think you should remember this comment one. So let's focus here on this map, Kursk, aka Firing Arc. It's fantastic because it's long range. However, I barely got out of spawn and already I'm shooting at 2.5 kilometers enemy tanks that have moved out of their spawn. The Object 120, the Taran, with its monstrous 152mm long-barreled M69 gun, fires APFSDS and HeatFS with high-tier tank penetration values every 10 seconds from an autoloader. However, my bad luck looks very often just like that. You saw that delay? That was not OBS, that was actually in the battle, because I got hull broken from 2.5 kilometers by an M56 Scorpion with HeatFS hitting my cupola. And I thought, should I leave the battle? And I thought to myself, for a change, oh no, this didn't happen. That was fake news. So I respawn and just count the seconds into the gameplay before I already see some enemy tanks from my spawn that is in the open, and I get shot. So I think that was spawn protection that saved me here, otherwise I probably would have been hull broken again. Finally, I penned a tortoise, which kind of ruined the demonstration of the lol pen capabilities of this tank. So everything's fine, right? You can be hull broken, you only have roughly, what is it, 30mm of armor, you're a huge target. It's actually not that much of a lol pen tank, or is it? I don't know. So you kind of see what I mean with kind of bad luck, right? And this went for the entirety of the week, and I just didn't really feel like sharing this with you, you know, getting salty all the time and just you know, having bad luck. I think, yeah, it would make for a few good laughs here and there with some of the ludicrous scenes that I acquired, but to be honest, there is a bigger project in the making. So the tortoise just demonstrates how bad I am at aiming. And yeah, I was still with the 2.5 kilometers range set in mind. And oh, would you look at that? And finally, that's revenge. So that was sweet. Now, why did this thing go down from 7.7 to 7.3? I was asking myself. It has this awesome gun, you know, it has an autoloader, granted 10 seconds, but you know, independent from crew skills, and if you lose a crew here and there, it doesn't really matter because autoloader, and this APFSDS and HeatFS, literally from what you would think of 120mm L44 guns, right? So then it occurred to me, you don't get those open maps very often. You can't really snipe all that often, and you are then forced in close quarters combat with this very good sniping machine, and that's just not right. This is what kind of reduces its actual efficiency over and over again every single battle. So it gets killed more often. Also, it's very vulnerable versus artillery strikes if it needs to cap, and also rockets and bombs, and also cannons or machine guns, heavy machine guns even from aircraft, can make easy work of this thing. So while it is an excellent sniping machine that usually pens everything, you know, you don't get into this scenario very often. it's rather rare that you get Fulda Gap or that you get Kursk, aka Firing Arc, or other similar large maps. And even if you do, then very often people just travel till they end up in the village in close quarters anyway, which is one of the reasons, thanks to the Gaijin's map design and map layout, why people universally do not really like big maps. By the way, your opinion. I have started a lot of polls on my YouTube community tab, and I know, yeah, there is the YouTube algorithm memes, but to be honest, a lot of the results have really surprised me with how accurate they were and how sometimes I was just simply wrong. So that is really interesting, and if you want to participate, feel free to do so. Back to the topic. So the same is with the Leopard 1, and together with the Leopard 1, this machine has a very good combination of mobility and firepower, but other machines are better suited for the meta. For instance, the British 20 pounder, the stabilizer, is a huge advantage, especially in close quarters or short range engagements. And it also has, APDS that pens most targets with ease. Finally, the Comet 1 bailed out, so that's interesting. Another fact is that if you compare the Leopard 1, an argument that I forgot to mention is that the STB-1 has the same gun, but has a stabilizer, again, which, makes it very much understandable why the Leopard now has a different battle rating. But what I don't understand is why it was necessary to drop machines like the Taran and the Leopard 1 in battle rating, bringing the compression down more, even so, because now this can fight, 6.3 tanks. Something like, I don't know, a Ferdinand, a Jagdpanther, or what you have in other nations that has absolutely no chance, absorbing the shells with its armor. And I think forgotten are the days when this thing actually went into the game. There were not that many tanks with heat FS that could hull break it. And armor was much more of a thing. There were more Tiger 2s around. There were more, together with the IS-6 T-29s around back in the days, And so that is why this thing still has this lolpan reputation. These days, to be honest, the majority of targets that you shoot, they could be easily shot with 20-pounder AP rounds over distance. So its gun is now outstanding in the fact that you can actually hit targets at range with the incredible muzzle velocity, with the scope, and that is still something where the tank is outstandingly good. Another thing is that I am, currently trying to finish some grind, or, continuing the grind, and that there are quite a lot of Soviet tanks that I need to research, and currently I'm busy researching some rank 6s before I move on to research the rank 7s with the rank 6 premium, that is the T72AV or the T55AM. I think I have to switch between those two from time to time. And this tank is easing up the grind a little bit with diversity, which I really need from time to time. So far, no action has happened in the gameplay, and we're already 9 minutes in. But what follows now is kind of the scenario that I want to experience a bit more. I am not going into A, because the cap is completely in the open. I have absolutely no cover. However, me going a bit behind the enemy line, if you in your mind draw a line from A to C, and that then is the front line, I'm kind of behind enemy lines, and I make some speculative shots here in this building, and I see that the range is set wrong by me, so I try to correct for that. So I really want to snipe from time to time, and I get it why certain people absolutely despise big open maps, because You're traveling to end up in close quarters anyway. And I would love this to be not the case, but that's just how people always gravitate towards the close quarters zone. So if not for the village in the middle, I would say this map would actually be better, with the cap layout, that the caps actually mean something. To get in there is a very high risk, very high reward situation, rather than I'm just faster than you. And oh yes, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. Long range killing a tank with a very well aimed shot. That's what I'm talking about, and that was satisfying. And this shot right there, for me personally, was more rewarding than any sort of short range roll pen 360 no scope kill, right? And I understand if you don't get it, what I'm talking about. I think that when you think about War Thunder and you compare it to other games, what makes it outstanding? The damage model? Sure, the modular damage model is fantastic. Everything is potentially a one-shot. Then also that in most cases, if you think about realistic battle and also sim, you have no markers, which makes spotting with your own eyes a challenge. And also War Thunder players have the cleanest screens in all of gaming. It's true. Another thing is that you don't have really those range limitations. The scaling of the combat in theory is possible. By the way, I'm really cautious here about taking a shot as long as this F-84 is in the air. And I really think that he must have spotted me, but no, he's turning a different way. And I'm thinking about taking a shot, and it would be really cool to kill him here, but it's unlikely. And as much as I hate to say it, but the Tiger 2 can take it, I can't. Oh, the irony. I know. So here I tried to take aim, and just before I was shooting, the Tiger 2P actually kills the Super Pershing at long range. And good news, the F-84 crashed. So that is good news. And you see, it looks like I'm spawn camping, but where do you not spawn camp in this thing? And oh, what is that? Oh, it was a Crusader AA Mark 1 that spotted me. And the 40mm is actually dangerous. But watch that. Yeah, that was, again, a non-penetration on the gun mantlet of a US tank. So before I can reload with the autoloader, it gets killed again by the Target 2P. So that was definitely a hit. And 3, 2, 1. Now gets the critical message in. That is the servers. That is not me. And now I could actually finish him off. Again, a nice kill. And to just be able to aim with this gun is so satisfying to get the shots in. There is something about it that I can't explain. And I know that I'm rambling a lot and there is not that much action. But for me personally, I just came to peace with the fact that it's not so much about the high kill score games. It's rather about the immersion and the satisfaction of the kill that you really played for. And watch that. Watch that shot. Oh, yes! That's what I'm talking about, baby. Exactly those well-aimed shots. Sure, I could have gotten that kill with so many more tanks from, the side and penetration, but there is something about this tank that is utterly satisfying. And after all those years, my hatred has kind of, burned out. My hatred for helicopters will be there for all eternity. But in all honesty, that was a good battle. And I think I kind of got my mojo back, finally, after 1 week of gaming. And a final salvo, I'd say, from my landship cruiser, whatever, and we will have a quick look at the post-battle results. It's not outstanding, but hey, I got an ace, an extra 15k on the 63k Civil Lines and 15k research. What a nice battle, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. See you next time.